How's it going, everybody? In this video, I want to talk about all the good victories we had this year in regards to our rights to keep and bear arms. So let's talk about this. But real quick, before we jump into this video, if you think the government needs to stop infringing on our right to keep and bear arms, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Also, just want to thank everybody who likes, comments, subscribes to this channel, who hits the notification bell, who shares these videos, reflecting on this year, reflecting on all the time I've had on YouTube, and thinking about next year and where this channel is going and where this community is going. I just been thinking a lot about you guys and all the support that you have shown me. It's been pretty much amazing every day to see how much support you guys have shown me, how many of you guys watch these videos, how many of you guys share these videos, all the people still subscribing to the channel and joining the community. Again, I cannot thank you guys enough for all the support, and I'm really excited for next year to see where this channel goes, and also excited to cover all the really amazing things that are likely going to happen next year as well. So again, just want to thank you all for your support, and if you're not currently subscribed, consider subscribing. Also, I want you to know that this content is powered by the Firearms Policy Coalition. So head on over to joinfpc.org to help support the Second Amendment cause. Thank you again, Firearms Policy Coalition, for supporting this channel. So like I said in the intro, in this video, I thought it would be helpful to discuss all of the major Second Amendment developments that we've actually had happen this year in 2021. The things we're going to be talking about in this video are really positive things and that have actually helped to protect our right to keep and bear arms. So the first and most obvious thing that happened this year is the fact that the Supreme Court took up the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruen New York concealed carry case. New York State Rifle and Pistol Association is a challenge to the state of New York's concealed carry permit requirements. The state of New York requires a person to provide proper cause to be issued a permit to carry concealed. The issue is that the state does not consider self-defense a proper cause, and therefore on that justification alone, people have their permits denied. Essentially, a person has to distinguish themselves from the average person to be granted a permit to carry concealed. So the whole question in this case is whether the state of New York violated the Second Amendment with their May issue licensing scheme that does not treat self-defense as a sufficient justification for a permit to be granted. Like I said, the Supreme Court took up this case this year and heard oral arguments early in November, and all the indications are that in 2022, we will get a landmark decision on our Second Amendment rights, and this will be a favorable Second Amendment decision. The court did not only seem concerned with the restrictions on concealed carry in this case, but also they were concerned about the type of analysis that courts and states use to justify their types of infringements. If the oral arguments were any indication, it sounds like the court will be correcting lower courts like the Ninth Circuit, who use the balancing of interest test instead of the correct analysis, which is text as informed by history and tradition. So not only was New York State Rifle and Pistol Association a positive step towards the right direction this year, but it sets the stage for next year potentially being one of the best years we have seen in a really long time for our rights to keep and bear arms. And it is really setting the stage for a lot of dominoes to fall and for a lot of these Second Amendment restrictions and infringements to finally go away. The next positive thing that happened this year is actually something that really blew up in the media and almost every media source was covering, and that is the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. This case received national attention, and many of us in the Second Amendment community side believe this case was really about our right to self-defense under the Second Amendment, and this whole trial was actually a trial of our Second Amendment rights. Through the coverage of the trial, we saw how the media and prosecutors, specifically in this case, were willing to manipulate an outright lie to try to get Kyle convicted of murder. During the trial, we saw prosecutors like Binger lie multiple times about evidence in the trial and actually lied about what happened that very night. Prosecutor Binger also attempted to violate countless court rules and even attempted to violate Kyle's constitutional rights by making reference to his Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. And all these actions got him yelled at, being Prosecutor Binger, he got yelled at by the judge multiple times because of these clearly incorrect actions. And all this was done just simply to try and get Kyle convicted. And ultimately, after all this, Kyle was acquitted of all charges by the jury. I, like many people watching the verdict live, felt great relief not just for Kyle, but for us in general. Because like I said, a lot of us in the Second Amendment community, in the gun community, felt like it was actually our right to self-defense that was also on trial with Kyle. This trial was really of major importance to many gun owners, and that's why you also saw organizations like NAGR donating substantial amounts of money towards the Kyle Rittenhouse trial fund to actually help him get through the trial. So again, it was a very significant mainstream media issue that was blown up. A lot of eyeballs were on it, and fortunately, it went the way of Kyle and went the way of our self-defense rights. The next major thing that happened this year was actually stopping the nomination of David Chipman as the head of the ATF. Joe Biden, as president, sought to have David Chipman as the head of the ATF, despite the fact that David Chipman is in fact a staunch anti-gun advocate and has been involved with multiple organizations that fight against our Second Amendment rights. David Chipman, of course, was also present during the Waco incidents, which should have been enough for many individuals to oppose his nomination or to prevent the president from trying to nominate him into that position, but that didn't stop them. What they really wanted was someone who was very anti-gun to be running the ATF so that they could go after our rights even more. And through this nomination, we saw a lot of people in the Second Amendment community get very vocal, reach out to their representatives, and because of all that, Chipman's nomination was actually pulled, and Chipman was not named as the head of the ATF. And really, the Chipman issue showed the fact that many people and all of us voters have a ton of influence when it comes to preventing these types of actions. And if we all get vocal together, and if we're all in unison, we can stop these types of things. Another big win that happened this year was the fact that Texas and many other states moved towards constitutional carry. Many states like Texas reacted directly to the Biden administration wanting to implement more firearms restrictions. Instead of waiting for Congress or courts to take some sort of action, these states took it upon themselves to further protect their residents' rights. Texas did this by not only passing constitutional carry, but they also took the step towards and passed what is called the Texas Suppressor Law. The Texas Suppressor Law, or HB 957, sought to create a situation where suppressors made in Texas and sold in Texas could not be regulated under the National Firearms Act. Now, practically, this law didn't have much effect and is currently going to be challenged, but it was a strong step kind of in the right direction, and in the right direction of states taking upon themselves to protect their residents' rights to keep and bear arms if the federal government at large will not do it, or if the federal government at large is actually trying to infringe on those rights. And I would expect going into next year, you will see even more states move towards constitutional carry, and maybe we'll even see more of these kind of states' rights laws, suppressor laws, or maybe even other types of laws pop up as well to protect the right to keep and bear arms of those state residents. The final win we're going to talk about in this video is the Miller v. Becerra California assault weapons ban ruling by St. Benitez. Miller is a case challenging California Penal Code 30515. The state of California bans specific firearms with various characteristics and bans them as so-called assault weapons. In this decision, Judge Benitez ruled that California's law did in fact violate core Second Amendment rights, like your right to self-defense, and therefore struck it down. That decision is currently on hold in the Ninth Circuit, and currently we are waiting for a similar California assault weapons ban case, Rupp v. Bonta, to be heard. A lot of these cases in the Ninth Circuit are on hold until next year, and they are waiting for the Supreme Court to either rule in the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association case or to rule in the Duncan v. Bonta case. Now, there is a similar case currently seeking Supreme Court review, and that is the Maryland assault weapons ban case. Whether or not the Supreme Court will take up that case is unknown. They could put that on hold, or they could do some things after they issue their decision in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association. But as of right now, that was a good win. It really blew up nationally. A lot of people were talking about that case and really brought to light that even in the state of California, there are clearly judges who see what the state of California is doing and agree that the state of California is violating those rights of the residents in the state. So those are, in my opinion, some of the major victories that we had this year. Like I said, I think a lot of these are setting the groundwork for next year. And I think next year in 2022, we could see some big wins when it comes to our Second Amendment rights. So if you guys have any questions, go and comment down below and I'll try to answer the best of my ability. Also, if you like this video and like to support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All those things help to fuel the algorithm or fuel Al Gore's rhythm. It adds fuel to his jet, and it signals to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos and this type of 2A news. I just want to thank you all again for commenting, subscribing, for hitting the notification bell, for sharing these videos. At the beginning of this year, I set the goal of maybe a far-reaching goal of having 200,000 subscribers, but at the time I didn't even have 100,000 subscribers. So in my mind, I thought it was next to impossible, but I thought maybe I would try and maybe set that as my goal. And because of you guys, we not only crushed 100,000 subscribers, but we also crushed 200,000 subscribers. And next year, I'm not sure what I'm going to set my goal at, so maybe you guys can set a goal for me down in the comment section. But again, I just want to thank you guys all for your support, and none of this would be possible without you. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And never forget, this nation is built by armed scholars. This nation will be maintained by armed scholars.